Well, guys, to your left is another one of the New Orleans castings. We've got it on an extremely high angle. Hopefully the thing doesn't blow out on us tomorrow. If it does, I hope that snake's under it. Originally, I was going to ram this up one at a time and just go ahead and get this job done. Turns out I've got to add some filler to it. I'm going to do whatever I have to make sure I can pull this from the sand. It was catching right here in the handle, right here, all the way along that, along with it was grabbing here and here. So I'm going to explain why that happened. In the original pattern, that wouldn't happen. It had plenty of draft angle. There was nothing grabbing. So when these are poured as a casting, the casting down here in these internal corners, it shrinks a lot and it draws that material in, creating almost a negative draft down in here in these corners. So with that said, I'm going to have to improvise on that. Hopefully the customer is not going to have a problem with it, but I don't see any way around it. You gotta be crap. I set the guy up today. Congratulations, that just down. I've come to the conclusion we're trying to get this right. I'm screwing everything else up. And over 6 weeks, shut down trying to focus on this to make all this, and except for one. Good thing I don't do live videos when I'm running into problems like this. Close enough. So it's a little high here. Here. And we're going to go 180. About the same depth. And one more. I went ahead and decided to add some strengthening ribs here to this. I'm fixing to pour a bottom for one of these tanks, and you know, when it shrinks it's going to draw in and it'll fall right out. But what you're looking at is a negative of what the positive is going to look like on the base of the bottom of the tank. We're fixing to build a new furnace, and this is one of the things I've got to get made before the furnace goes kaput on me. Another fuel line. Well, we got one good pour. I doubt we're gonna get to pour the bottom, so it looks like I'm gonna have to fabricate one. I needed to pour that, but it was no less important than what I poured there, so. Anyway, let me shovel some dirt on that fire. It's not going in a favorable direction for me right now. And the fuel line is cooking. It's burned in too, so anyway, that was possibly the last melt. Tomorrow, when that thing cools down, I've got a lot of iron that ran back into the burner, and hopefully I can get it out of there. If not, we're completely shut down until we get that going. I really would like to get this bottom poured though, because that would save me a lot of time. Well, my friends, it looks like I'm going to be shut down a couple weeks, which I had planned to do anyway, to do maintenance, but now I got to do major maintenance. We were getting ready. We have most of the parts poured for our new furnace, but I'm liking one piece, and that is going to be this one, the bottom pan for the new furnace, which I can't pour iron in because I can't melt iron. I knew we were getting very close, but as of last night, we had iron washed down in the burner going through all the plates. I spent most of the day chiseling half of that out. I still got the other half clogged up. And I decided, you know what? I'm tired of fighting this mess. I'm not going to keep patching. It's just costing us more time. We're going to do this right. We're going to just completely chisel the furnace out and reline the old one just to get us by for now. That'll run us for 2 years as I am able to do the other furnace the way I want. I'm using a pneumatic hammer to do that, which makes it quite a bit easier. And I also have a masonry drill that I'm going to be running down through there, jackhammering it with. So yeah, we're down for now, and it's, you know, I saw it coming. I knew about a month ago we were getting very close to this point. You can tell when things are fixing to get catastrophic, and I was right. But you know, for 2 years worth of service, running this thing almost every day, it's been a good one. So I'm going to be getting on that. I'll shoot a little video of that. I'm not going to be showing you everything, but with that said, I'm probably going to be off a couple weeks as we work through that. We got a mess, but it's it'll all work out. It always does. And there's no reason for me to feel the way I do today. I don't know what's going on, but it's 82 degrees, and I should be taking full advantage of it, and I'm just so drained. All I want to do is go back to bed. It's, as I said, you know, I haven't been this busy when I worked 2 jobs. Well, guys, what you are looking at is iron interwoven down in the refractory, and sometimes it would actually have a reaction to the refractory and liquefy and fuse to the bottom, forming little caves. And in all, we removed about 60 pounds of iron out of the bottom of this furnace. Keep in mind, as I've said, we've been running this thing for 2 years, so you know it accumulates over time. But now on that last melt, we did dump an additional 10 pounds in there that I'm working on, as you see here. Very time-consuming process, and if it wasn't for the pneumatic rammers, it would have took me months to get this mess out of here, I think. I'm not big on Harbor Freight, but I will tell you, their pneumatic rammer and their pneumatic needle scaler, they seem to run forever, and I'm thankful for that. As you guys know, my airlines are not the best. They're full of water and dirt, sand, believe it or not, because when you have an airline laying on the ground that's not connected, it's going to get dirt in it. So, yeah, these things have proven the test of time for what I've been using them for in these very dirty environments. I am wearing a respirator, by the way. You do not want to be breathing this refractory dust in. But as you can see, it's just a very slow process. And I think in all, it took me 2 days. Yeah, and we had about 2 days worth of work chiseling and chipping just to get all this stuff out of here. I'm not going to bore you for an hour on this, but I wanted to show you some chunks I'm going to be pulling out of here. See how that loosens up? And it's so you can kind of get an idea of what is bonded with the rest of the iron just by hitting each piece, and you just have to hunt and peck around there with the hammer and see what'll loosen up and what you can get out of there. See that? Towards the end, like I said, I was able to drag out a whole lump of iron that weighed about 30 pounds. And then I've probably got another 30 pounds just in little bitty pieces like that. Years ago, we had one that had wore so thin on the very bottom from, like I said, the reaction of the iron and the refractory. It's not a good mix, and it was washing the refractory out a little bit at a time, and before I knew it, we had parts of the steel bottom exposed. By then, I knew it was getting close to the end anyway, but we went a little too far with that and ended up having to destroy the whole bottom of the furnace just to get all that mess out of there. And I was, if I had a mess like that to deal with today, I'd just scrap the whole furnace. I wouldn't even worry about it. There's some more iron. As you can see, we got some pretty good chunks all in that mess, and it's a lot of work. Well, guys, I know I'm putting my little drill press to the full test here. it was a little harder than I'm making it look in this video, but I've got and to make matters worse, I'm not perpendicular to the table. I actually rotated the table 5 degrees in order to accommodate the tweer angle that's going to be the offset that generates a Coriolis effect in the furnace. Now, this furnace is going to be for Josie. We're making 2 of these up while we're ramming, and she's going to be getting away from that electric piece of crap that we spent so much money on. That was a big regret. I'll never get one of those again. It might be ideal for a little hobbyist, but not for the conditions we put one under, where we're using it several times, possibly a day. But this plate is going to be formed. It's going to be curved to a radius to fit around the side of a brake drum, which we're going to use for the base of the furnace. The furnace will be able to accommodate up to an A6 crucible, which will be ideal for her, I believe. And I will show you more on that here in a minute. But yeah, this thing, after it got about 2/3 of the way in, where it was getting 90% to 100% cut right before it goes through the other side, started doing really well. So for those of you who are wondering who Mr. Pete's talking about when he says Bubba drilling holes in the table, that'd be me. A little more. Alright guys, this is it, all bolted together and hot glued to seal it off. We don't want any water coming out, seeping out of the refractory as it is curing. But anyway, your refractory is going to go down in between here. And like I said, I've got hot glue all in everything that I can think of, and I got duct tape on the bottom of the bolt holes of this drum. That should keep the seepage to a minimum. One of the things about pouring refractory is you can't have any porous surface against it. We use a cardboard tube for the bigger furnace, and then we have to wrap plastic all around it and tape. It's a time-consuming process just to make sure we can seal the moisture. We don't want any moisture getting pulled in like a wick into that cardboard. We don't have to worry about it with this. This is black plastic. For those that are concerned or thinking this offset is not enough, it's perfectly fine. I actually had one years ago that I made that was straight in, perpendicular, and it pretty much blasted the crucible the whole time, which is not recommended by the crucible suppliers, but I couldn't tell a difference on excessive wear from one side to the other. It didn't seem to faze me. Just for tradition, we will tilt it a little bit, and I'm going to also increase the surface area here and leave this a sharp point, so that will help draw that. It's a low pressure. It'll pull that current around and help whirl it around better anyway. The direction or rotation of any fluid is going to be the Coriolis effect. Same way with your toilet when you flush it, right? A lot of applications, the tweer is going to be tangent to your rotation. In my years of building furnaces and experience with this, I realized you don't have to necessarily go on an angle with your tweer. You can actually go perpendicular, as I was saying earlier about increasing the surface area to create a twirl. Well, that's your Coanda effect. If you increase this surface longer than this surface, right, if you start breaking here and creating more of a distance, you drop the pressure. You have a decreased surface pressure here, which automatically draws the current this way. It's not just for furnaces. This applies to anything. If you increase your surface area, you're going to always have lower pressure to draw in that direction. But anyway, I just wanted to cover that with you real quick, because there were going to be some people that didn't like the angle I had that tweer on, and I wanted to explain it really doesn't matter. Guys, I'm going to cut the video here. We are still several days away from ramming this furnace along with Josie's. We have to do some major modifications to the existing furnace, along with, I've got a revised burner I'm going to be putting on this. One of the things we're going to incorporate in this is a bot. And if you're not familiar with a bot is in a cupola, and it's the tap hole basically. So anytime we spill iron in the furnace, we can knock that bot out and drain the furnace without it running back down through the burner or the tweer and the diffuser plates and screwing everything else up. I'm still trying to chisel all that mess out of the burner as we speak, on top of working on all this mess. So yeah, it's, as I said, it's a mess, but I feel a lot better today. I've been able to catch up on a little sleep. The weather, luckily, is still holding out for me. It's really nice out, knock on wood. So we should get a lot done in the next couple days. But y'all take care, and I'll talk to you later. For those who have been asking about the Windy Hill Foundry hats, these are now available on my website, windyhillfoundry.com, under stores, or you can click on the above link. These are on the pricey side, but keep in mind the shipping is included. Have a good day.